Let's talk about body position when you do breath work. So when we are doing breathing sequences, we either sitting down or lying down or standing up or even moving to all the directions and getting into the weird postures to help our bodies to work out some specific muscles and do some specific moves that will help us to breathe better. In this video, I would like to talk about what is important for you to know in order to align your posture correctly when you are in the lying down position and in a sitting down position. Standing up position doesn't have that much importance because there is no specific thing that you need to know about, and all the other postures when we move in, which are a little bit weird and unusual than lying down and sitting down positions, I always explain how you need to align your body. Let's start from the lying down position. So when we are lying down, we mainly lying down on our backs, just like that. And here what is important is to make sure that you don't have this strong arching in your neck. If you have this strong arching in your neck, then you for sure need to put a pillow or something else that will help you to have your neck straighter. It shouldn't be something high either, so if you put a pillow and then your chin is to the chest and you're really high up like that, then it's not good. Try to find something lower. It could be just a towel, bent towel. And align your neck so that it is comfortable and your neck is elongated. If you don't have this strong arching when you're lying down, then just stay on your flat floor, and this is actually pretty good. Then we go a little bit lower. We usually have our hands on the sides of our bodies, on a little distance away from our bodies. Palms are facing up because it allows us to have our shoulders more open than when we have our hands close to the body or palms facing down. So try to always have your palms facing up. Let's move on a little bit lower. Our lower back and hips. So here, for many people, when they have straight legs, it creates a lot of tension in the lower back, unnecessary tension. In order to remove this tension, you need to simply bend your knees and bring your feet flat on the ground like that. That will help you to not have this pressure on your lower back. Also, what is quite nice if you can follow and pay attention to is the position of your pelvis, of your hips. So what we want to see, we want to have a flat pelvis. You can place your hands on your pelvis right here, and you can see if your hands are parallel to the floor or not. Often what happens is that people have either this position of their hips, where their hips bones goes towards their ribs and this area shortens, or vice versa. They would have the extension of this area and this unnatural arching in the lower back. So what you want to find this position where your hands that are on your belly are parallel to the floor, and none of your fingers or thumbs goes like that. It's just parallel. It might be uncomfortable for you to be in this position because if you are used to be in not optimal position of your body for a long period of time, or for example tucking your hips like that all the time, then it will be not comfortable for you at first when you will go back to a good position. So for that, don't be afraid if you have this kind of unusual space in between your lower back and floor. If it creates some problems, you can just roll a simple blanket. Let me take this blanket and show you. And place it under your lower back to try to keep your pelvis parallel to the floor. I have this problem. I have a lot of space in between my lower back and the floor. And when I work out, I often would use some support in my lower back, and it's good. It's totally normal. Because what is the most important is your hips. Your hips are the central element of your body alignment. If your hips are misplaced, then everything else will be misplaced. Your chest and all the other problems that will follow the bad pelvis position. So that's pretty much about the lying down position. Now let's talk about sitting down position. When we sit, what is important is to keep our spine as straight as possible. This position is the most open one for our breath to happen properly. We don't want to have any of these things ideally. Of course, it's not coming from the first session. Sometimes it takes time to actually get into the straight position, but try to focus on going towards this direction. When we are sitting down on the yoga mat, we usually sit in the cross-legged position, which is something like that. What is important for this position is to find your sitting bones. Your sitting bones are these bones that kind of comes out of your buttocks. You can feel them by bending slightly forward and they will be pushed out and to the sides. So you should find these bones, and you need to sit on your sitting bones if you want to be stable and straight when you are sitting in your cross-legged position. For many people, when they try to sit in the cross-legged position on their sitting bones, they simply can't do it because their hips are not open enough, and then they have this bend in their lower back, and the lower back is not straight. So in order to solve this issue, you should sit on something that will lift your hips up. So for example, bend your pillow like that and sit with your sitting bones on this pillow and allow your hips to go slightly higher up, and that will help you to have your lower back much straighter. Then the second problem in the cross-legged position is actually knees and hips tension. If you don't have an open hips and your knees are not really comfortable in this open position as well, then it will create a lot of pain and discomfort, and then you for sure will try to find this more comfortable position, and that will misalign your back. So just to tell you, I was not always like that. It's not that I was born with this position. It took me so long to develop this good opening in my hips and have a good comfort in my knees that you wouldn't even believe that 10 years ago I was sitting like that. My knees were close to my ears and I was just like that. Don't worry if you have this position for now. It takes some work to actually open up your hips and start to feel absolutely comfortable in this cross-legged position without any support. But what you can do in order to make your life better right now is to use props, use pillows. You can always support your knees. You can even support it really high up like that. And if you are sitting on another pillow under your buttocks, you will just sit a little bit higher up, but it will help you to have this straight position. And it's important. Don't suffer from unnecessary pain in your hips and your knees. We want to be straight, but we also want to feel comfortable when we do breath work. What you can also try to do, and some of my students would do that, is to sit on the pillows like that, like on the horse. You can even lift yourself up much higher. Just like that. You can do breathing exercise that we do in this position as well. So it's an alternative as well. Or, really, you don't need to sit in the cross-legged position for the breath work. You can just sit simply on the chair. There is nothing bad in it. Just take a chair. If you have a chair without the back of your seat, then take it without the back of the seat because it will help you to have a more motion around you. But if you don't, just take a simple chair and sit on the edge of the chair without leaning to the back of the seat. And keep your spine as straight as possible. Find your sitting bones, sit on your sitting bones, place your feet flat on the floor and have your knees about hips distance. And do exactly the same things that I'm doing when I'm in the cross-legged position. So this is pretty much what I wanted to share with you. Let me know if you have any questions that you would like to discuss about how to improve your body position during breath work, because it's important. It's important to have this open position and comfortable position for having the best possible experience while you're doing your breathing sessions.